Please note that the Sutton Cable does not edit any part of this meeting. We're on. Being, according to the Town Hall clock, 7:04 PM on June 25th, 2019, this is the sitting of the Sutton Historical Commission, with all but one member present. Donna is not present. Let's go to our agenda. Approval of minutes from prior meeting. Minutes were submitted for the May 21st, 2019 meeting by our darn good clerk, Mr. Kellogg.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Motion's on the floor. I have viewed these minutes, and I agree. Is there a second to that motion? Seconded by Rochelle. All those in favor of passing the minutes as written on for May 21st meeting? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed to passing those minutes? Hearing no no's, they pass. Great job, Mr. Clerk. I miss you. All right.
Right here.
But you're here, so that's good. Okay, so approval of minutes. I want to make sure my phone is on vibrate too. I apologize. I do have an incident at work going on that I need to attend, maybe. It is on vibrate. Okay, public forum. Though we have a gentleman sitting in the front, it does look like public. It is our alternate member, Mr. Brown, so there are no public forums or public hearings present today, which would get us right into 4A, which is the Historic District Certificates. This was discussed in the past with members present, and on that team was Rochelle, myself, and we extended beyond the Historical Commission with the Historical Society and a member of Manchog, Christine Watkins, as well as Jen Hager from the Planning Board, and developed a certificate that is approved by, why is that going to that? Hold on, I'm not good with this stuff. That was approved by the members of the commission as well as Jen and Ms. Watkins. So I will send my phone to the left. You can pass it down. I don't know how you can, I guess you can make it bigger, but basically this is the final draft form. We will be highlighting the photograph of the mill a little deeper within the certificate and changing a few words, but that would I wish I had one here tonight to pass out, but I couldn't get to Jen in time. But I have to say, it got the stamp of Manchog people, and that's all that counts. I mean, it's a nice looking certificate. It's better than the Sutton Center one. And it represents exactly what that stands for down there. And that's, I believe, Rochelle, it's mill number 1, correct? With the tower.
Oh, I've seen it, yeah.
Rochelle was very insistent on having the tower present.
I thought it was gonna be only the tower.
Well, we were thinking about that, but
But trying to find pictures that would depict it was the difficult.
without wires, because no matter, this is like power wires that get in the way. But anyway, it didn't matter, as we banged heads, and the girls.
Take care of those.
Was it? Yeah, that's all I need. I'm thinking of cutting the electrical wires for a better view of the fireworks, by the way. We'll see how that goes. No, but after talking about that, I mean, this does show the tower predominantly in the mill. It's a famous mill drawing back in the late 19th century, early 19th century, maybe. I'm sorry, early 20th century, late 19th. I just like it. I thought it was a good pick. So I'm proud of you guys for doing
As well,
that.
if you go inside the building, they've renovated it, cleaned it up, they've done a beautiful job, but it's a nice place to work in.
It's not, I mean,
It's
that's,
a positive, not a negative.
it's a deserving thing down there. So when the final is done, now, I want you to note that the Sutton, with Jen's help, Sutton will provide the paper, and we gotta get the addresses. I believe there's 208 properties in that district. However, that does not mean that 208 certificates need to go out. Some may be empty lots, some may have 2 or 3 under one name. So Jen and I are gonna work that out, and at some point, We'll get the envelopes with a cardboard backing, so that way they won't be bent in the mail or anything, and whoever gets a certificate gets a nice certificate. So thank you, Rochelle, for doing it. I know it took, we beat around the box a little bit, but it ended up being a nice certificate. Any comments? Any feedback? Good. Okay, open discussions, any updates, anything that anyone has to bring to the table?
There's a parade on Sunday, in
Okay,
case you didn't know.
I didn't know. There's a parade on Sunday, what time?
4 o'clock is when the parade starts. Roads close at 2:45 though.
Okay, excellent. Anything else that goes with that? Is there fireworks or anything?
Yes, there is. It's funny that you should ask. We have food trucks, children's activities on the common, cow chip bingo, petting zoo, old cars will be on display, tractors will be on display, and then fireworks. Oh, and 2 live bands too.
Oh.
Can't forget the 2 live bands.
Excellent.
Skeletones and Mike Gerard's big swing thing.
Oh, nice. Anything else? Any walking tours
Oh,
or
you
anything?
mean kind of more related to what we're doing here?
No, a historic walking
Historic-
tour.
Historic walking tour.
They're in the program. Is going to be highlighted at, I think it's 25 properties.
I don't think it's that high, maybe
20?
19 or 20.
19 or 20 properties
Mhm.
along Boston Road and Uxbridge Road.
Surrounding the common as well as
Surrounding the
Boston
common
Road.
with a little write-up on each historic piece of property. It's self-guided.
Mhm.
It is laid out within the program that you can get from the information booth that will be on the little triangle. The information booth is going to be on the little triangle of the
Oh,
common.
great.
Okay, good.
And I know the Historical Society is going to be set up outside the hearse shed
Mm-hmm. Near the pound.
near the pound, which will be occupied.
Oh, good.
And there'll be cemetery tours as
Excellent.
well. So that's a lot of stuff going on Sunday, I think.
Occupied with what?
It's a cattle pound. What would you put in a cattle
Oh, I
pound?
know, you know.
Mice.
I thought
They might escape.
maybe there's some, you might have had somebody in mind.
Yeah. I can think of a few people. All right. Excellent. Thank you for that. We didn't know there was anything going on update.
Well, there are some people according to Facebook that go, "What's going on this weekend?" Which is kind
I
of
saw that.
funny.
Which I'm not on Facebook, so
So you didn't see that,
no.
but
Excellent.
you knew that something was going on.
I did. Well, I've seen tractors go up and down the street for the last week every day, pulling hay and running around like bees.
Well, that's hay time.
All right, excellent. Thank you for that update. You get that, Mr. Clerk?
I did.
Probably not.
No, he's got all kinds
But
of
that's
notes.
probably not the most appropriate for our meeting, but thank you very much. We
Well, you
appreciate it.
asked.
It is historic.
It was open discussion.
Any comments or replies on that? Any other open discussions? Anything that anyone wants to bring to the table tonight that they may be aware of? Excellent. I would take that as a no. So number 5 is old business. I'm gonna do an update on the old business. We briefly spoke of a cemetery restoration project, a collaborative between the Sutton Historical Society, local veterans, Legions, VFW, there's a few different, as well as other individuals who have an interest in restoring, let's put it this way, cleaning and writing maybe a few stones in the center cemetery and expanding to other cemeteries within town over time. This commission has an obligation to oversee that with Mass Historical Commission under the condition that our town accepted a Mass General Law provision via town meeting at some point in the history of this town, and I believe the Mass General Law is 272, Chapter 73A, which is, and I could be incorrect on that, Mr. Clerk, but
I'll confirm.
if you could, that's only from memory. It's basically the law guiding graves removal, gravestone removal changes, or anything to do with like a cemetery. If we, as a town, adapted that Mass General Law via town vote, then therefore we are guided by that MGL. Through our information to the town clerk and checking all records from as late as the 1700s on up, this town has never adapted that provision, so therefore we don't fall under that. However, I've had a conversation with Mass Historical Commission. They did have some concerns on citizens touching stones and all that. Understood. They had some concerns that just people weren't going to go into the cemetery and go about their business without any guidance. So there is a publication by the Mass Department of Conservation and Recreation, DCR, which is a guideline for restoration and preservation and cleaning of gravestones. This private commission, or this private group of people taking on that task, is beginning to set in motion a time frame in which they can start to work on this. They're going to order some of the recommended products from DCR's conservation guidelines. I will at some point submit a letter to Mass Historical Commission giving them an outline of what our intentions are and that we will be following the guidelines that they recommend. So in a nutshell, and I want it on the record just in case it haunts me in the future, that we are going to follow the guidelines even though we don't fall under them, because we've never accepted that provision. According to Mass Historical Commission, if we haven't accepted it, basically we're on our own. So, with that said, we have a great team in place. As soon as we have that strategy on paper, I will submit it to MHC. Is there any comments or any feedback about that from any members? Is there anything I may have missed or didn't touch on in that I should? No? Okay. I want to make sure that that's on the record and that we are going to, as if we were under that guideline or that MGL requirement, we will follow it. Okay. Any other old business that people want to discuss? Excellent. So we have some new business. First one is, I'll get right to the meat and potatoes. There are two members at the June 18th, 2019 meeting of the Board of Selectmen. Both Mr. Walter Baker and Mr. Paul Dunn were noticed and reappointed to serve for another 3-year appointment to expire June 30th, 2022. And that was on the 19th, yes, just making sure. I'm sorry, that was on the 18th and the letter's dated the 19th. Did you both get copies of your own?
Yeah.
Excellent. Frame them, thank you. We appreciate your volunteerism for the town of Sutton.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Actually, it's pretty good. We're really, honestly, I've been doing this a long time. This is a nice, not that we haven't had great groups in the past, because we have, and some of them move on to bigger and better things, like a selectman or something.
Yeah.
But we got a good group here. It's nice, it's nice to see. So I appreciate you guys and what you do and volunteering and coming up here, sometimes for an hour and a half, sometimes for hopefully tonight 20-25 minutes. So I want to say thanks to each and every one of you. I really mean that. Excellent. Okay, so another new one is the Conservation Commission meeting. I just got this tonight, so it's dated, looks like it was postmarked June 14th. So approximately sent out 10 days ago, but I found it in the mailbox today. Proactive design. It's from CZA. Anyway, I'll read it. In accordance with Mass General Law, paragraph 11, let's see, where is it? 111, section 40, you're notified of the following. The name of the applicant is Sibley Reservoir LLC, and it's filed a notice of intent with the Conservation Commission for the municipality of our town, Sutton, located on Burbank Road, map 10, lot 3. Copies of this intent will be examined with the Conservation Office between the hours of 8 and 3, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday, 8 to 5. And the office is closed on Fridays. The project involves breaching Sibley Dam Reservoir. We discussed this?
Yes.
Okay. I'll finish reading, and you can touch on it if you'd like. Electronic copies of the request may be obtained from the applicant's representative by calling telephone number, and I will publicize that number in case there's any home viewers that would like it. It looks like the number is 781-278-5808 from the hours of 8 to 5 p.m. on the following days, Monday through Friday. And that's the applicant's representative, which looks like CZA.
GZA.
Is it GZA?
Well, that's what it was from last.
Okay, because it's hard to read, and I apologize. It's in like some fancy trademark font that most people born after before 1980 wouldn't know what it is. But it looks good. Notice of the public hearing, including its date, time, and place, will be published at least 5 days in advance in the Millbury Sutton Chronicle. And notice of the public hearing, date, and place will be posted at the city or town hall not less than 48 hours in advance. You may also contact your local Conservation Commission or nearest Department of Environmental Protection Office for more information about application for the Wetlands Protection Act. Okay, my understanding is we discussed this maybe 2 meetings ago. Last meeting.
That was an emergency breach.
That's correct. So this must be the plan that they have to submit in order to breach the Sibley Dam.
More permanent.
Any comments? I think we pretty much discussed what we thought would be an issue, what wouldn't be an issue.
Well, I went by it on Saturday,
Okay,
and the water, I call behind the dam, on the north side of the dam, is not there anymore. And there's some kind of a piece of construction equipment, they've done some material to get equipment off of Burbank Road into the site. And there were too many leaves, I couldn't see what happened at the real bottom, which is where the problem was. I was going the wrong direction as well.
okay.
So I certainly, the previous times I'd been through there was a considerable amount of water there. And I think the question came up as to where was it gonna go? Somebody's taking care of it. I haven't heard any reports of flooding, anything.
Okay.
That's all I know.
Massive evaporators.
Yeah, that's what it is. I miss the giant fans.
Okay. Anyone else drive by that site or have comment?
Just the same, I saw it.
Okay. I know that we had some concerns of a historical impact below the dam in case there was a breach and there was an uncontrolled flow. But that's speculation. That was only a concern by a member or members present. So right now,
Well, I
there's
didn't-
no need for concern.
No, and the individuals directly below had been informed as to what was going on.
Okay.
So I believe he would take it upon himself to be there and make sure everything was
Excellent.
under control.
Okay. How you doing, Mr. Clerk? You got that, brother?
Yep.
Do you write in shorthand? Have you ever seen someone write in shorthand? It's absolutely amazing. How we lost that art, I don't know. But when you watch, and I always say, how do you know what you're writing? And how do you know what to read back? Because they're just lines. But anyway, I give you credit. Thank you. All right. Any other comments on the Sibley Dam emergency breaching project? I think I need to take a ride by there. after the parade. I do have the 4th off, so maybe that would be a good day to go. All right. Let's see.
It's nice that you have the 4th off.
Okay, let's see.
I'll read the reports later.
Is there any other new business that anyone or any member would like to discuss? Okay. I have no new announcements or correspondence. Nothing was in the box. I remind you, and I think it's already passed, that history conference in Worcester. I believe that was maybe last week. Anyone attend? Okay. All right. I have no other business, new business, or correspondence. Anyone else have anything to add to this meeting?
I have one thing to throw at you. American Heritage Museum. My son and I went on Father's Day. It was actually a very good museum.
Is that
It's expanded, brand new in Hudson, Massachusetts.
Hudson, okay.
Where?
I don't know the number. It's Main Street, Hudson. It's got the largest collection of armored vehicles in the world on public display. So it was pretty
Big
pretty-
building? What's in the old
It's a
armory?
brand new building.
Really?
Brand new building. Behind it is 2 other parts to the, I guess, this foundation you had already, which is they already operate an World War II air tour and a Vietnam era air tour. So they have like a Liberator
Oh, cool.
and a Flying Fortress.
Inside in that building?
No, those are off flying all over the country.
Oh, wow.
And then they have a car barn full of cars from 1901 to 1939.
Ooh, so mine would qualify.
So it was pretty good take. There's 3 buildings. The brand new one though has
There's all the goodies.
the massive collection of armor, which is from. They actually have a sketch of Leonardo da Vinci's thoughts,
Really?
and they made a scaled model of
Wow.
Leonardo's idea for a tank all the way up to an M1A2 Abrams
Abrams.
tank.
Wow.
We still
Interesting.
have, I think, one of the only operating Sherman tanks.
Actually, so there's 6 tanks in there that they're the only ones in the world on display for public view, and someone in the museum told us that every single one of their tanks have been restored to operational.
Yeah, they all
Every-
work.
Wow.
We actually watched a Sherman tank zipping around outside.
Yeah,
So they drove one around?
Yeah.
and,
on Father's-
yeah,
on
and I
Father's
think
Day.
I've heard that is the only known operational Sherman tank.
Really? Of the thousands that were built? That's incredible.
Interesting. Be needed a World War II reenactment.
Yeah.
They do
Columbus Day
those.
weekend, they happen to be doing a World War II
Okay.
reenactment at the museum. Taking the airfield, it's called.
I hope you're not taking any side income from this museum.
No,
Okay, because you're certainly promoting it like you work there.
my son did fill out a volunteer
Of course he
questionnaire.
did.
for
Your
that.
kid's outstanding.
Well, there's full disclosure. Right?
I'd be interested in going there, so.
It was a good time.
Maybe
It was
we can
good.
take a
We were
trip
there for
again.
about, I think we were there for about 3.5 hours,
Excellent.
seeing everything.
American Heritage Museum in Hudson, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else? And I was gonna get Mark to at least say a word tonight, but once he talked about tanks, you piped right in, so now my mission's over in that one. Any motions on the floor or anything?
Move to adjourn.
I have a motion on the floor to adjourn, and seconded.
Sure.
Seconded by Paul. Motion to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None, we're adjourned. Thank you, Miss Cable, you're the best.